Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Welcome to Conversations from Paris. I know y'all like, you're a little late, ma'am. I am. I'm here though. I'm just saying, I'm here. So come on in. I'm gonna share this on my other page real quick. All right. You watching the replay? Happy to see you. Y'all know I'm always excited when y'all catch the replay and let me know that y'all did by just typing replay so I'm aware. Um, Listen. I want y'all to share the live. I just shared it on my other page um, because I know it's beneficial, and it's not about me. I'm nobody special. Well, let me change my words. I'm not gonna say I'm nobody special. What I'm gonna say is nothing that's so great about me. That's the reason you should watch this. This is more so about getting the information you need, and if it comes through me, so be it. Yes, I am taking my boots off, y'all. This is listen. I know y'all can tell I'm not home, so we're gonna get this work. I'm traveling for work, but I still have to do this. So let's go. Um, so I'm trying to let a couple of y'all come in here before I start, but I'm gonna start in a second anyway. Um, all right. How was your day? I hope you guys had an amazing day so far. It's been quite a busy week for me, but I'm grateful because you know there are people that did not get to do what they want. There's people in the hospital laying in the hospital bed and it's not doing well. And there's people that just didn't wake up from life in life. So I try to be super grateful. So let's get into it. So I don't know if y'all saw my topic. Um, First of all, let me go ahead and just put it out there. Um, for you guys that didn't know, I launched my trauma triage course this week. Yay! And I'm just excited because I think it's so needed. I believe that so many people are walking down around with unresolved trauma, and the symptoms that they're walking around with are from the unresolved trauma, and they don't realize it. So we need to be educated so we can understand what we're dealing with, and so we can get help. And then that leads us into my conversation today, guys. That leads me to our conversation. SOS. Y'all heard of SOS, right? Basically, SOS is when you like wave the flag, like, hey, help, I surrender, I need some help. Rihanna used to have a song about, SOS, somebody help me, Anyway, I'm not trying to sing. The point is that you know, the white flag is a flag of surrender. And it's like, hey, help me out. I need some help. And I felt like that was an important topic for us to have today. You don't know what you don't know. Say it again. You don't know what you don't know. I think we're in a society today where it's entirely, I'm going to use the word, be careful my wording here, because I think this is a very sensitive subject I'm about to talk about. I think we live in a world where we are shamed for not knowing things, okay? We are in a world where everybody's like, hey, you can Google it, or hey, you can go on YouTube and figure it out, or you can ask somebody, or you can just try things until it's done. And I think because of that, it is a super misleading thought process that will leave you stuck. Now, let me preface this. We are in the generation of information. You can literally find out anything you want to know. There's something on it. You can Google it. You can go on YouTube. You can ask somebody. You can learn from a mentor. You can do so many things to figure some things out. So once I get that out the way, that is true. That part is true. However, I think that I think it leads to very dangerous situations. A lot of times what you get out here Although you can get a lot of things for free by just researching, the reality is that some of the information is not complete, right? For example, I'm sure you guys have listened to somebody, they giving you information and you're like, oh, that's great. And then they're like, well, to get the real part of this, then you need to pay or do this and that. They're going to give you just so much. And then if it's valuable to you, then you will go ahead and pay for the rest of it, right? Um, you might learn how to do some basic things online, but if you want to get to a level of mastery, you might have to invest more into your education to figure out what's the depth in it, right? And sometimes it just takes practice and really just diving into it, here first. Why am I talking about this? Like, what does this have to do with mental health, Paris? I'm glad that you asked me, because I think that what it does is it spills over into the rest of our life. And I think what happens is we become competitive with each other, right? We get to a point where we feel like, oh, I'm not going to ask for help because I should need help. Come on, y'all. I should need help. I can look it up. I'm not going to ask them for help because I don't want to look like I need help. I don't want to look like I can't do it by myself. I don't want to look weak. I don't want to look needy. What if they don't want to help me? I don't want to be rejected. And so now you're going into this circle and you're not getting the help that you need because you don't want to look a certain way. And I think that that's rooted in a few things. It's rooted in rejection. It's rooted in um I'm trying not to say the word I'm trying to say because I just think a lot of people are going to get offended, but I'm going to say it's rooted in pride. Okay. And let me tell you why I say that, because it was this person, like, very much didn't want to ask anybody for help for anything at all. And it came from a root of rejection. I literally did not like when the few times I asked for help, people didn't either did not help me, were um, nasty to me when I asked for help, or they would say they would help me and then wouldn't come through with it. So like those bad experiences made me say, well, I'll never ask for help. I'm gonna just do it myself. Like I'm not gonna depend on anybody, because and that is a hurt response. Okay. That's a response because I'm hurt and I'm going to retaliate by protecting myself so that that never happens to me again, which in reality, I can't guarantee that doesn't happen to me. And really, um, I'm, I'm not really hurting them. I'm hurting myself by putting myself in a position where I never ask for help because I'm scared that someone's going to say no, or I don't want to ever feel that rejection again. So I'm going to never put myself in a position to have to be rejected. And it sounds like to y'all, it probably makes sense. Like that makes sense. I'm not going to do anything that's going to put me in a position where I need people. But the reality is that we all need each other. And the reality is you're not going to know every single thing. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And that's what I need you guys to hear. Hey, JC. And see, that's the problem. I feel like we are in a society where people feel like they don't have the grace to not know. Listen, I was in a conversation the other day about some stuff that was going on with the young lady's um, her life, her current life, stuff she was going through, her family, her own self, relationships. And as we were talking, I heard certain things that let me understand certain things she was dealing with. And then not to put her conversation out here. The only thing I want to bring up is that as I started talking to her, she was so grateful because she's like, "Oh my God, that's exactly what I'm going through. Oh my goodness, that's you're describing. How did you know?" And the simple answer to that, the very oversimplified answer to that, is that I didn't know these things before I got educated and I was taught. So this is not something that is a common conversation. So you're not going to know until you also get some assistance from somebody who knows. Again, That's why I always talk about therapy. That's why I always talk about talking about mental health and getting the stigma off, because half of the things that have to do with mental health that you don't know about, you're just not going to know. And see, I think people, they use the memes and they use their feelings and they use what they talk to other people about to believe that they don't need help. I'll give you an example. If you think dealing with anxiety is just what life is about and that you're going to always have anxiety, I think that I would question why you feel that way. And the reality is, I'm going to ask what you have done, because what I see, and I'm just telling you my personal interactions, the people that I see that say it, number one, they feel hopeless because they feel like they've been suffering in silence for a long time. Number two, they just started, people start talking about anxiety and stuff. And so now they know the word to it. So they put language to it. But number three, oftentimes what happens is they don't take the next step. Yeah, I have anxiety. That's just something that a lot of people have. I'm not going to go to the doctor to find out what's going on. No, I know what I have. I have anxiety. They're going to diagnose me. I don't need any help with that. And they're afraid of being diagnosed with certain things. They're afraid of getting that prescribed some medication. They are, um, they pretty much talk themselves out of getting help. Let's talk about it. You talk yourself out of getting help, like, oh, no, that's gonna cost money. I gotta find a doctor. I don't even know. I don't want to ask like my HR person about it. I don't even know how to find a therapist. And people gonna think I'm crazy because I go in there and it's just anxiety. Everybody has anxiety. It's no big deal. I just gotta learn how to control it and manage it a little bit better. And they now officially talk themselves out of getting help. And so then you see more stuff. You just start Googling it. And people are always self-diagnosing themselves. Remember how y'all remember when WebMD came out? Let me tell y'all. Uh, WebMD is, what does it say? Sometimes you can get just enough information to make you dangerous, right? Because it's like you don't have enough information to be knowledgeable, but you got just enough to get dangerous. Man, I'm telling y'all, I have like the funniest story. In college, I had like diagnosed myself with a major disease. I'm gonna just say that. I don't want to get controversial, but and it was all because I had a little cold and I had to be convinced that my immune system was compromised. And back in the day, it used to take you a while to get test results. So I was waiting like a week, and I literally like convinced myself that I was dying. Um, with that being said, the little bit of information or too much information can literally have you at both ends of the spectrum and either thinking you know everything or over flooding you with information and making you think that there's nothing to do about it. So I'm not saying that it's like that you're dumb or crazy for doing that. I understand it, but I think that you sometimes we get into such a box, a box of, hey, I I would talk about this, but I'm starting to see it's very common. Like I'm not the only person that's dealing with this. So you know what? Let me not say much about it. Let me just buck it up and deal with it, right? Because that's how life is. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. You don't know what you don't know. And don't let anybody make you feel bad about that. And then guess what? This whole idea of, oh, well, everybody's depressed or everybody has anxiety, so it's just normal. That's crap too. Yes, there are a lot of people that suffer from depression. I have done tons of series on them. Yes, there are a lot of people that suffer with anxiety. It is very common. But it does not have to be your story. It does not have to sit on your forehead. It does not have to be you suffering in silence. I'm just I'm upset because it's like it's the same thing as saying, I'll give you an example. Let me give you, like, to me, I'm gonna give you an example that to me makes sense. Um, um, okay. What if I had I got a cramp in my hand quite often. Now, if I talk to people, they're like, "Oh yeah, girl, I get that from time to time too. Oh, it's real bad. Yeah, yeah, I got carpal tunnel." Or, "Oh, girl, that's nothing they can do. That's probably just because you writing too much in your hand." Or, "Oh, this is just because of this or that, whatever." And if I was to listen to the people who I talk to about it, they would over normalize it. They would just tell me it's no big deal, and then they would convince me, or I would either convince myself that it's not worthy of going to the doctor about it. I would just have to live with this pain, and it's just what I have to get used to. Also, another thing that people do is they share their experiences, and that could be completely true for them. Like that, they might have had the surgery and it didn't work for them, but you cannot make a decision about which way you're going to move because of somebody's bad experience, right? I mean, that's like somebody can say, "Hey, I worked for Amazon and it was horrible for me." Well, but if I think it's a great opportunity, am I not going to look into it because you didn't have a great experience? I mean, I can take your advice, but I also have to decide, I don't know what the parameters around you not having a good experience was. I shouldn't base my whole action off of what you did not like about it, right? Or maybe I should inquire more about what exactly was your issue, and then maybe seek out assistance and see, hey, these are my concerns. This is what I heard could possibly be a problem. What's the likelihood of me encountering that same thing? We stop too far ahead of even a diagnosis. Like, you don't even know for sure if you have generalized anxiety, if you have PTSD, if you have general major depressive disorder. You don't know if you have manic depressive bipolar. You don't even know if you have, or it could be nothing. You might have chronic depression. Chronic depression is different from generalized depression disorder. You need to understand the differences, and self-diagnosing, minimizing what it is, letting people tell you it's not a big deal. You need to go to no doctor. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You'll be all right. Making jokes about it is hurting you. I was on a thread on Facebook the other day, and I just won't mention what the thread was, but it was just people talking about depression and how, it's just something that's super serious. And I saw certain people say that, this is just life, and it's just bad. It's always gonna be bad. And I was discouraged. Not discouraged because, I felt, upset at whoever put that up there in the comments. That wasn't it. I felt sad for the people that they believed that there was nothing they could do about depression. And I'm not saying people on that thread did not actually look into getting help before. I just don't believe everybody did. And if I could be wrong, but I'm my spidey senses tells me I'm not wrong. Because again, we see a few memes about something and say, "Oh," we hear a couple people talk about it, and we feel like, okay, this is just something that people live with. And the reality is, I I don't think people are understanding there are so many different approaches to getting help. There is going to a therapist. There are going to small groups, group therapy. There's going to sometimes you might have something specific to grief. If you're dealing with grief in a hard way, there are grief support groups. There is a dance therapy. There's art therapy. There are so many different ways to deal with certain things that you're dealing with. And there are different treatment plans. There are plans that require medication. There are plans that require no medication. It's completely holistic. There are plans that don't deal with holistic, but just deals with behavior cognitive therapy. When I tell you there is a plethora, and plethora just means a lot. I love that word. There are so many things that you can that you can do to address depression, anxiety, whatever the issue you have. And I am saddened by the generalized thought of, "Oh, we all deal with this. It's no big deal. I'll just suffer. I'll just deal with it. It sucks, but this is just life." It's not just life. It doesn't have to be like that. It does not have to be like that. If my hand hurts and I listen to those people and I never go get it checked out, I can get to a point where I can't use my hand anymore and it's degenerative. And if I talk to the doctor, they're like, why did you wait so long to come? And I go, I talked to this person and I talked to that person. They told me it was normal. And now I'm in a situation because I did not go see a doctor for myself. It's dangerous. It's the same thing about growing up in different families and growing up in different neighborhoods and different cultures. Just because you see and you think it's normal to everybody else, this family does this. Like I told you guys, just because you did it, your mama did it, just because your aunties did it, just because your neighbors on the block did it, every family you've seen at your school do it, just because they did it does not mean it's normal. Does not mean it's not toxic. Does not mean it's not dysfunctional. We laugh at a lot of dysfunctional stuff in our neighborhoods. And we get upset when something bad happens and we don't realize the seeds have been planted long before that. You guys are finally just seeing the symptoms of the dysfunction that you thought was funny at a young age when it was just budding. And I've been there too. But when you know better, you do better. And so again, you don't know what you don't know, but I need you to ask for help. I need you to not be, listen, do not worry about what it looks like. I'm trying to tell y'all, if y'all don't believe nothing else I say, let me tell you something. Y'all thought the pandemic was a lot. Watch what this next year or two is going to be like if you don't have your mental health in a good space. If you're not able to deal with how your brain functions, if you're not able to deal with the thoughts and the racing thoughts you're having and the feelings you're having and understand how you're operated and you're wired. Watch what the next couple of years are going to do to you. And I'm not making a threat. I'm telling you. Because guess what? Y'all think just because the masks are coming off, y'all think that the residual effects of this pandemic are long gone. And that is, you are sadly mistaken. You are sadly mistaken. Because now, just like 9/11, after 9/11 happened, all the stuff, the long-term effects after, they're still happening. Okay? The stuff that you don't see. Y'all saw the people in the buildings that died, but you didn't see the people who were dying years after because of the invisible stuff. And I'm here to tell you that this pandemic has affected you, whether you acknowledge it or not. And it's not just the pandemic. A lot of things have happened in the last few years. And if you do not start dealing with the things that you've just been handling on your own for years or just started up, I'm telling you, it's only going to get worse. I'm not trying to scare you because I have no benefit in scaring you. I am trying to tell you, please get help. I don't want to see a story about you and it's too late. Please ask for help. If you don't know where to go, inbox me privately for resources. I will help point you in a direction. I do not want this to be a thing of, well, she's just saying that she don't really care. I really do care. I genuinely do care. I want you to get the help that you need, but you first have to believe that you can be helped. You don't know what you don't know. You can't treat anxiety if you don't know, if you haven't studied it. You can't treat depression if you don't know the treatment methods for it, if you don't study this stuff. That's why you're supposed to get a professional that is knowledge on that has knowledge on this information and knows how to treat it. And listen, like I tell people all the time, you might go to a therapist and it might not be the one for you. Who was her name? Jennifer Lewis wrote a book, The Mother of Black Hollywood. Amazing book if you want to read a book about mental health in her real life. She did an audible about it. It was so really good. And she reads it in her own voice. It was really funny, but raw. And the thing I loved about her is that she said that she was, I think her quote is that she was in therapy for 14 years before I started working. And I thought that shook me up the most. Like, what? But then she tells you more about it. What she tells you is that she didn't take it seriously. She was there. She used to tell people she's bipolar or manic depressive. That's what they used to call it. But she didn't really do the work. She was there. She just went there to be able to say, I went to therapy. And I just thought that was so good that she was so honest about that, because basically she was saying that if you don't show up, and it's not about just showing up, but showing up and doing the work. You don't show up and do the work if you don't open your mind to the idea that you don't know it all. Because she said when she first got there, like, oh, whatever, I'm just going to do this little thing. I got this under control. When she thought she had it under control, she was completely spinning out of control. But the minute she let somebody actually help her and then follow their guidelines and actually work the program like they said it, that's when she started getting help. That's when she started to see results. And I love that. I love that she was so real and raw, because the reality is sometimes you think, well, I just show up and that's good enough. Well, how's that been working at your job? How's that been working in your relationships? You don't get to just show up. You got to go there and be intentional and do the work. So guess what? And then she said she went to, I think she said 4 or 5. It might have been 7, something like 7. At least 4 or 5 therapists she went to, and till she found the one. And I think it was more than 4 or 5. It might have been 7 or so. But I love that too, because sometimes people think, oh, I go to one, it didn't work out, I'll never go again. That's like, I've been to OB-GYN I didn't like. You think I stopped going to the doctor because I had one OB-GYN I didn't like? No, that would be crazy. You know, if you don't like a doctor, you change a different one. If you don't like a diagnosis somebody gave you, get a second opinion. It is the same thing for your mental health. If you went to a therapist and you don't like the vibe, go to another one. If you don't like what diagnosis they gave you, get a second opinion and a third opinion. You have to be your advocate. And I get some of you saying, Paris, you being real harsh. You don't understand. When I'm depressed, I can't barely get up in the morning. I understand that. I'm asking you to fight. I'm not blaming you. I'm asking you to fight. That's why I said, wave the white flag. If you need somebody to help you fight, let's go to it. But you gotta show up. You cannot reject the help before you get it. You cannot think you know what's best, because obviously you don't know what you don't know. And I'm just seeing a lot of people that disqualify the help before they get the help. That was good. I'm gonna clap up for that. I see a lot of people disqualify the help before they get the help that they need. They say, oh, well, that's not gonna work for me, or I don't need that, or it ain't gonna do nothing for me. I'll just be all right. And then you suffer in silence, and you don't have to. You don't have to. And you think that can't nobody see it. You think it's not noticeable, but let me tell you something. It shows up in every situation. Even y'all good ones that hide it as good as you thought you think you did. No, you're not hiding it that well. The reality is every time something gets too hard, it spills out, it spills over, and people realize, oh, and it comes out in statements like, I never get enough support. Nobody ever really cares about me. That's when it spills out. So you think you're hiding it. You're not really hiding it. We see it. But a lot of times people don't know what to say to that, right? Because you always seem like you got it together. See, it's time out to stop looking like we got it together and like actually start working on getting it together. I don't even have it all together. I have a work in progress. But the thing that I love is that I am doing the work. I acknowledge what I don't know. I acknowledge what I'm still working on. And I'm open to getting help in any way I can. Listen, I will never know everything, and neither will you. So this idea that we can't learn or get help from somebody else is killing us, y'all. It's literally killing us. It's literally killing us. So I want you guys to get the help that you need. First, it starts with admitting that you don't know what you don't know, and it's okay. I guarantee you that you cannot heal your mental health all by yourself. I guarantee you. I don't care what you say to me. I don't care. Somebody come to me and tell me that you have now dealt with all of your mental health and you didn't need any help. Come tell me that, please. I want to hear it. You need help. That's like you saying, oh, I don't ever going to need to go to the doctor. Well, if you got something going on, you do need to go check it out at least once and see what they say. Get the test run. Figure out. You know if something's wrong with you or not. And even, hey, if you really don't want to go to a doctor, you want to do all natural, then do the natural stuff. You can't sit here and say, oh, well, I don't trust doctors, but then don't do nothing. You still got to do something. You don't trust doctors either. You have to go to an herbal doctor, a homeopathic. Let's call homeopathic. Yeah, homeopathic doctor. Or either you got to look it up yourself and figure out what you need to do. And that's much more work. So if you are lazy with everything else, you're not going to do the work you need to for your health. It's more work. I used to tell people when I went natural, I said, it's more work being natural. It is. So don't do it if you think you're going to go in there and save a step. That's not what's happening. Matter of fact, you're going to spend more time, for more money, more energy. But I was being intentional about what I wanted to see with my hair. I wanted my hair to grow and be healthy. And for me, it was worth the extra work and intentionality. And I learned a lot about me. And I feel like everybody should learn about themselves enough so they can do what they need to do. They need to work from a place of empowerment. I don't suggest that people just hand over their life not knowing. There's a lot of people that's out here that's okay with not knowing anything about anything. They don't want to know about the hair, don't want to know about their skincare. They don't want to know. They want everybody to figure it out for them. And I'm all for some convenience and, hey, getting people to know certain things. You don't need to know everything, but you need to know something about something, right? You need to know a little bit. Like somebody couldn't tell me to put, I'll give you an example. Somebody can't come up to me and say, Paris, put this acid on your face. It's gonna make your skin like so much softer. And I'll be like, it's a no for me. And they'll be like, well, no, parents try it. I'm telling you, it's a no for me. Because I know a little bit about my skin. I know how sensitive my skin is, and it's going to be a no for me. Now, I'm not saying you don't know what you know. I'm telling you, I know my skin. And so I'll take other suggestions. See, the difference with me and you is that I didn't just say no to everything. Give me something else. Let's try something else. When I used to go to a personal trainer, some things they'd tell me to do, I'm like, yep, not doing that. They're like, you got to do it. I say, and guess what? The favorite personal trainer I had gave me alternate exercises. Love that personal trainer. Instead of you telling me what I can do, if I'm telling you I'm hurting in this area, don't tell me what I can do. Give me something else to do. I'm not lazy. I'm here. I'm showing up. Give me an alternative, right? What you cannot do is say, oh, they're not going to understand me. They're not going to be able to help me. And just don't ever get help. And don't even look it up yourself. That's what some of you guys are doing. And it's hurting you. It's only hurting you. But let me tell y'all something. It's hurting me too because I'm watching you do it. I'm watching you not get the help that you need under the guise that it's not going to help anyway. I just have to live with this. And you're being like defeated unnecessarily. And I hear some of you saying, Paris, you don't know, I've been dealing with this my whole life. I understand what you're saying. I get it. 100%. But let's talk because I really want to know. I mean, let's have a real honest talk. Have you done everything that you think you can do to get help? And what does everything look like to you? That's subjective, right? And who am I? I don't know everything about your story. Guess what? Somebody's watching me and said, Paris, I've done this, that, and I've done everything. And if that's what you feel, I understand that. I just always think that there's another thing. I do. Because what's the alternative? What's the alternative? Just not ever doing anything about it and living like that for the rest of your life? I just don't think so. And sometimes you can say, well, I tried this, but did you try it like to the 100%? Like I've tried some things, but didn't stay with it long enough to see the results. Is that what your issue is? Maybe. So that's all I had. I didn't want to stay too long, but I just think you should wave the flag. And if you don't want to do it publicly, shoot me a DM, send me an inbox. We can go over it, but I want to see you win. And I don't want to see you suffer because you think that you can't get any help. I don't want you to count yourself out because of what you see, the memes on Facebook or what people tell you or have people say, oh, that's crazy, girl. You'll be fine. You don't need all that. Like, don't even listen to your family on this. I'm telling y'all, look at me. I don't care what Big Mama say. I don't care what your brothers say. I don't see what your cousins say. I don't care what your twins say. You know you ain't feeling good about something. Don't let them talk you out to get help because we don't do that, or I don't want nobody to think I'm crazy, or I don't want them to think you crazy. You don't need all that. All you gotta do is pray. Or you don't need all that. All you gotta do is just relax. Just be happy. Y'all, if it was that simple, you think people sit around here want to be depressed? It's very insensitive for you to have those responses. So I'm telling y'all, your story is your private journey. Don't you let nobody talk you out of getting help. Don't you let nobody tell you that's no big deal. And don't you talk yourself out of get help. Stop it. Some of y'all talking yourself out to get help and y'all suffer in silence. And you've been suffering for years and years and years. There's more out here. If you don't know, ask me. I will help you out. I'll help you to get the resources you need. I want to see us healed and whole. It's 2022. It's too much out here. Too much help for us to be out here suffering for no reason. You don't know what you don't know. It's okay. I don't know what I don't know. But I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to go check. I check out. I check on me. So check on you. And encourage somebody else in your life to check on themselves too. Check on them. Y'all, we're gonna get through this and be better. But let me stop seeing y'all talking about y'all just dealing with stuff. You ain't gotta deal with this. Show up for you. Show up for you. Don't disqualify the help before the help starts. That's the word of the day. Okay? Okay? Don't disqualify the help before the help starts. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Period. Hey, Yolanda, girl. So I told y'all this wasn't going to be long. Like I told y'all, I'm traveling and I'm tired. So I just wanted to get on real quick and let y'all know that. And I'm going to finish up again. Like I said, my trauma triage course just opened up on Tuesday. It is going to be a limited time offer. I'm trying to tell y'all, people are already getting it. And when it's closed, I don't know what else y'all want me to say. And you can catch the next one around. I'm telling you when this is going to be bomb. So I want y'all to get into it. You hear me? Because let me tell y'all, a lot of times the stuff that y'all dealing with is a result of your trauma. Is a result of your, the things that happened in your life that was out of your control. And that's sometimes why y'all feel like y'all don't want to get help is because y'all think, hey, I couldn't control that stuff that happened to me. I can't control this. Wrong. You can control this. Yes, they hurt you, but it's your responsibility to heal. So let's get into it. Let's get this work. And if you need some information on what to get this class, you can check out at my website, www.parispjohnson.com, www.parispjohnson.com. And I'm telling y'all, it's gonna help your whole life. And if you need any resources, like I said, if you're not sure where to start, let me know. I'm happy to help. And on that note, I need y'all to understand that you are enough. You are enough. And I'm going to tell you every single day until you believe it. I'll tell you every single day you believe it. Because if I can shift you here, the whole world is yours. The whole world. But you got to believe that you need it. You got to believe you deserve it. You got to believe that you can have it. I can't do that for you. You got to do that part. I can tell you enough every day. You got to start believing it. Yes, you are, Yolanda. You are enough. Yes, girl, get into it. You already know it's time to get this work in. So I love you guys. It's been a long week. Have an amazing weekend, y'all. It's the weekend coming up. Have an amazing weekend. I will check in with y'all later. Thank y'all for allowing me into your lives and your rooms to talk to y'all. I really want to see y'all healed. Okay. So just remember, wave that flag if you need it. You don't know what you don't know. So let's get this work done. Stop disqualifying the help before you get help. All right. Talk to y'all later.